So we want to ask you, like, what are things that you want to see from police officers within your own community? What are things that we can do to bridge those gaps? What are things that we can do to teach you, hey, this is why we do what we do?
I have always had a great relationship with officers and our SROs on campus. I feel like for more community involvement with other youth, because the kids that you typically talk to are the really good kids or the kids that are in trouble. So we need to find that in between, so we have every kid's included in that conversation.
And on the topic of training, I want to know like what percentage or what portion of your training is about de-escalation, because I know that's so important when you walk into a situation. How much time do they really teach you guys to de-escalate the situation, to be prepared and try not to use violence as the first solution?
Training has a factor of money, right? And at Chino Police Department, the city takes care of this department so much, we are able to train a lot, more than a lot of agencies. And the number one thing is de-escalation.
Not only do we receive de-escalation training, we also have a cadre geared toward dealing with people who are in crisis. It's our crisis intervention team.
I know that the majority of you guys have good or great relationships with your SROs, but I'm curious, and anyone can answer, on with George Floyd and all the other videos and pictures that you guys have seen of police brutality, has it changed or shaped your opinion of us differently, even though you know you have a good relationship with at least some of us? As a whole, does it change your opinion about law enforcement?
And growing up, I was always taught, like, if you see a police car, you don't have to tense up. Like, they're here to protect you. If you're not following the speed limit, they're trying to keep you safe, you know? But after George Floyd's death, it made me realize that not everyone grows up hearing those things, that this person's looking out for you, that person's protecting you. And for a lot of people, it's the exact opposite. Like, hey, if you see a cop, run. If you see a cop, head down, walk the other direction.
The purpose of our assignment is your safety. However, I think we all have the same purpose of why we joined the SRO program, and it's to be a trusting adult.
I will say, being that we have our school resource officers, I feel a lot more comfortable being at school. Like, to know that, okay, if something does happen, it's like, okay, they're there for that reason. So it makes me feel like I could get up in school, go to school, be like, okay, I got Officer Asby right there. She kind of makes me feel more comfortable just around officers, coming from a background where, like, we're taught not to associate with officers. You're looked at weird from the community I come from. You're looked at weird for talking to officers. So it's like that kind of opened the door for me to be like, okay, I'm more comfortable to do that now.
So when you're in that position of being such an influence in these teenagers and young adults' lives, how does that make you feel?
I looked at it as you guys are our kids, you know what I mean? So just like Officer Torres said, like I would do grade checks myself because and I would pull whoever was in the class, hey, come to my office. What's up with your grades? Like, and then again, just the whole resource part of it. Hey, do we need to get you in here? Is there something your counselors missed? You know, but ultimately, it makes you feel successful.
You want to be there for as many as you can, and like kind of how Barbara's explaining, all these kids have different situations. They come from different homes, they come from different family lives, they come from, hey, mom or dad's not in the picture and it's aunt raising them, and you kind of you wish that you had more time to spend with everybody and kind of pour into everybody's bucket as much as you can, but you gotta divide that. And of course, it's rewarding. It's one of the best jobs that I think that I'll probably ever work, especially in this assignment. And I think the reward is bigger for us than it is for you guys almost.
Wow, this was an incredible discussion. I'm honored to have been able to be in the room listening to you guys talk. Our future is so bright. You guys said it all. You are the future. You're gonna take over. Some of you might be sitting at this table, and some of these people will probably be sitting in my shoes and be the chief of police one day. Our community is only what it is because of you. So thank you again for coming and participating in this discussion. And for our SROs, you guys do a phenomenal job every day out there talking with you, developing you, mentoring you, and making sure that our future stays bright. So thank you guys for participating.
whether we're a person of color or not, and reaction to these situations. And the officers were like, oh, I felt the same way. Or they went into how our feeling is completely justified, and that moving forward, that we can work together and you're not completely alone in these situations, and that you can never do something truly alone, and that we can work together to advocate for change.
I was really impressed how like the cops were able to answer our questions. And I was impressed with some of my peers too with their questions, to see like, okay, I'm not the only person who thinks about this stuff, so that was cool to see too.